Hey everybody, it's Sam, Sammy J Stitches. It is May 11th, and I'm here with my Maynia update. I know it's been almost 2 weeks into Maynia, but I felt like I wouldn't have enough to say if I did it after only 1 week. I've been seeing everybody's vlogs, well, not everybody's obviously, but a lot of vlogs for Stitch Mania and a lot of other videos, and it's all just so exciting. Like, how did I not find y'all sooner? Really, y'all have made stitching just that much better for me. So first I wanted to kind of discuss with you y'all my rotation the way it is presently. I didn't really have one up until May, but with Stitch Mania and having the new starts, I didn't want to let my whips fall behind, especially my stitch alongs. Everything else I think I would be okay with the month off, but I didn't really want my stitch alongs to get that far behind. So here's how it works for me. Because I work a job where I'm very fortunate and can do a lot of stitching, I do most of my stitching at work. I'm in a tiny little shack by myself for 12 hours. Yes, I get interrupted because I have to sign people in and talk to people and things like that. But working overnights, you really don't see that many people. So when I'm home, I work on my Heaven and Earth designs. And even those don't get near enough attention, because as any parent knows, when you're home, you're a mom every second of the day. You're needed and you're called on. So I don't, and then by the time I'm done with it all and I sit down to stitch, I'm so tired. So I don't get as much done on them as they probably deserve. But that's what I do. And so for May, I started a new Heaven and Earth design on May 1st, which I'll be showing you with the Stitch Mania stuff. And so that was week 1. All of the first week of May, from the 1st until Sunday, I worked on the mini Phantom of the Masquerade. And then on Sunday I switched them out, and this week I'm working on mini Treasure Hunt Bookshelf. So it is on the Q-Snap. And I'm working on it presently, so it won't be shown this video. I'll show how much progress we got this week next time. Of course, all of this stuff I try and keep updated pretty regularly on my Instagram. But, so I switched between those two at home. At work, I am there from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So I decided from 6 p.m. to midnight, I would work on a stitch along or some other whip. Once I get through my stitch alongs at the beginning of the month, then I'll go based on that chart I showed y'all last time, but I didn't explain. I realized that after I watched the video after I uploaded it, I went through all that explanation and never told you why. Other than that's how I keep track of it, but it's more than that. It helps me see what has not been worked on for the month, or like if something gets worked on the 1st and everything's been worked on more currently, of course I'll pick that one. I hope that makes sense, and I'll go more into that at the end of the month because you'll be able to see a little bit more progression there. So I'll pull something out from 6 to midnight and work on it, and then at midnight I usually take my lunch break, which is, you know, just a few minutes of eating something, sitting there, and then I put all that away and I get the new project out. And so for May, from midnight to 6 a.m. is when I'm starting my Stitch Mania, which means I can't predict yet how many I'm going to actually start this month. I have 12 planned, about 10 to 15 more that are because they're the Advent animals, and I don't know how many days I'll work. So, and I don't start them when I'm here at home, just to kind of make them stretch throughout the month. And it's hard because I'm immensely enjoying new starts. And so I'll be sitting here at home thinking about one of the, like, my autumn wreath I haven't started yet. And I'm like, oh, I should pull that one out. No, Sam. Go work on your heaven and earth design. But I don't want to. I have this internal war in my head. So anyway, let's get started. Now that I've digressed. I've already done this video once, so it's a mess. Between when I posted my last video, there was one day before Stitch Mania started. So I had to kill some time. And I was also working on something where I needed a lot of stitches. So I can't remember now what it is. I pulled out my Live, Love, Laugh. This was a kit I bought at Walmart. Busilla kit, if that's how you say that. And see, we have these long rows of just, you know, the same color. You get kind of used to the flower pattern, so when you come up to it, you don't have to really concentrate. So anyways, I put a bunch of stitching into this. This wasn't here before. I filled in a couple of these. Part of me wants to get done with this color first, but anyway, I put a bunch of stitches on that. And that was the evening of April 30th. And this is on, I believe, 14 count Aida. Yeah. So, I don't think I have anything else to say about that one. I feel like I should. I don't. So moving on. So that was the evening of April 29th to April 30th, the morning of April 30th. Then I was off that night, the night of the 30th, morning of the 1st. And then of course I went to work the next night. Who really feels like you have a night off when it's like that? I don't know, but I was kind of excited because it meant I got to start my heaven and earth design, because like I said, I don't start it at work, and so I was gonna have to start it one night when I was off, and it worked out that it happened to be on the 1st. So as soon as midnight hit, I had this one ready to go and started working on it. And that is the Heaven and Earth Designs Mini Phantom of the Masquerade. So, and that's how far I've gotten. And of course that was over several days. Ooh, almost get the right color in there, that nice gold. So I was off, I believe, 4 days that week. So that's the accumulation of 4 days worth of work. So I love the way this one's stitching up. I love the fabric, and the stitches. There's good coverage, and I think because there's a large bulk of color, my other Heaven and Earth design, it is a lot of confetti right now. And honestly, it's probably going to be through the whole project. I don't know, but it looks like a lot. So it's kind of nice that on the weeks that I'm not working on it, that I'm working on something that has bigger batches of color. Because before I started my Heaven and Earth design, officially started it December 1st, 2015. And then the fabric got ruined by some kids. And so I started it over, and I had started it on 18 count Aida. So I started over. I was like, well, maybe I can go with a little bit smaller count. So I started it over on, I think I've only started it over once. So on the 28 count Lugana 2/1. And that's why I don't want to start it again. And so we get into that whole I've changed yada yada. But anyways, my point being, when I restarted it, I worked on it for hours at a time every night for the first couple weeks, and I've got like 3/4 of a page finished on it, and then I just set it down. The confetti, it got to me, the working on it constantly, so focused on it, I got overwhelmed, and then we moved, and this, that, and it ended up going into a big black hole. And I finally pulled it out a few weeks ago. And so in order to keep myself from throwing it in the big black hole again, I think the rotation between it and the one that's less confetti is going to be very helpful for me. That was a long spiel to explain that I'm enjoying my project, but I don't know, somebody out there might have liked it. Okay, so the night of the 1st, I did have to go to work, and I worked on my Birthstone's Dragon stitch along. At the time, remember, I had only worked on April for a little bit in April during the Jessie Marie stitch along. So she was already started, but she was not completed. So I had to finish my April dragon first. I think his colors are amazing, and he's very masculine and strong looking. And I think this one's probably my least favorite, just because it looks more like a snake. I love the colors and the style of this one. I just think is super gorgeous, and I think she knows it. She looks like such a diva the way she's posing, so I really enjoyed stitching her. And so then I got done with her, and it was right about midnight. So then it was time to start a new start. And I started the Let Your Imagination Soar bookmark. And like I said, I have roughly between 4 and 5 hours that I work on it. And you can see this one stitches up pretty quick. I don't really care much for this color right here. But anyways, all I have left on this one is to finish the back stitching, connect it to the basket, and then I have one more balloon down here, and this will be done. Once I'm caught up on my stitch alongs, this will be the next one to come out, because I need to get it finished before the end of the school year. Y'all, the school year is 2 weeks from tomorrow, and they're out for the summer. Do I sound petrified? Like, I'm not ready. My kids have been very clingy lately, and I'm not sure how we're doing the whole babysitter situation during the summer, because my husband and I both work. I'm not looking forward to it. Anybody else looking forward to it? Like, yeah, we take lots of great trips, and I will enjoy my kids' company at times, but summer is just so overwhelming. All kids all the time. Okay, and the next 2 weeks are extremely busy because of the end of the year. My daughter has 2 field trips, one each week, and they have field day and musicals and baseball games and softball games, and the next 2 weeks are going to be insane. Anyways, moving on. So I have to get this done. It's for my daughter's teacher for the last day of school. So it will be the next one to come out after I get all my stitch alongs done. So then that was the morning of April, or May 2nd. The evening of May 2nd, I started on my little emerald dragon, because I just can't stay away from my stitch alongs. I'm going to, I'll explain that, but it's really hard. And this is, as I probably said before, but in case you're new, 32 count Lugana in Heritage by Picture This Plus. I really like it. There's something about dragons that just screams like antique looking. I just love the way the fabric is kind of modeled, but it's goldish brown, and I just thought it went with it well. So I got started on Emerald Dragon, and then I realized, I mean, I worked on him for several hours, but I realized that in Stitch Mania, they are having the Color a Day stitch along on the 15th, and their colors are emerald. So I decided he will wait until the 15th to finish. So I want him to know. But I will wait till that comes up. So, after midnight, so the morning of May. Why do I keep trying to make it April? I'm terrified of summer, can you tell? I'm just kidding. May 3rd, morning of May 3rd. I started, oh, so there's more to this too. Like I said, I work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. About 5 a.m., my relief calls me and says, I don't feel good, I'm not coming to work. I said, well, you need to call our boss. So he calls the boss, she calls me, she was trying to get me relief, but it was still, I mean, it's an hour drive to get there from just about anywhere. So, I mean, she would have had to get a hold of somebody immediately, and I knew that wasn't gonna happen, so I didn't even put my stitching stuff up at 5:30 like I normally do. I just kept stitching, and I did not get relief till noon. I didn't stitch that entire time, I was too tired, but that's why this one got finished once it got started. And it is, I call it the cat bookmark. It's a perfect day for reading a book, and I really enjoy the way this stitched up, especially the little whiskers. I couldn't help it, those whiskers were my favorite part. And this was originally charted in black. I changed it to white so I would hope it would pop better against the red. And oh my goodness, I made the most perfect, it's gonna be blurry, French knots. I didn't know I could do French knots, but I figured it out, and these are excellent. I mean, you can see them from this far away. You could tell that there's a dot there, and well, you can kind of tell it's there. So anyway, I'm really excited about this one. I just need to fully finish it, and it's ready for my son's teacher. And this one as well, this was originally charted in black. I put it in white to make it pop a little bit better. See, I got some red on red here that I was worried about, but with the back stitching around it, I think it works. So that was the morning of the 3rd. Because I worked till noon that day, I was off that night, and then I had several nights after that that I was off. So I worked on the mini Phantom of the Masquerade, and that's where I got. Then on Sunday, that one came off the Q-snap, and mini treasure hunt bookshelf went on. But then of course from Sunday to, I worked Sunday, Monday, Tuesday this week. So I didn't actually start working on it until last night. Okay, so Sunday night, which was, what day? What day was Sunday? I've lost track of the week. Give me 1 second. Sunday was the 7th. So the evening of May 7th, because I wanted to start Cheshire Cat on the 6th with the Brooks Book Stitch Along. But then I realized it was from the 6th to the 20th, and like I said, I do not start them at home. I only start them at work. So I didn't start it on the 6th, so I was like, I'll just start it when I get to work tomorrow night. But then I had to do on the 8th for a 1-day only stitch along. So I ended up doing 2 new starts back to back, not working on a stitch along at all. So the evening of the 7th, I started on the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, Brooks Books Alice in Wonderland set. I keep going back and forth. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole set. But I know I'm going to do at least 1 or 2 more. I may end up with the whole set, but I started with Cheshire Cat. Something else I'm going to come back to. Don't let me forget. I want to talk about the way I stitch. But anyway, so I started this one and did this from about 9 p.m. till midnight-ish. So I feel like I got a good bit done. That tree is looking very pretty. And then at midnight, I'm gonna kill this. I don't even know that it's right. Owl Love Animal, like Owl, O-W-L, Love Animal. Stitch Along 1 day only. I believe it was with Stitch Maynia. Don't quote me on that. I'm in 4 groups that have these events, and sometimes I cannot keep my brain straight. So I started Loving Cat. I call it Loving Cat. It's called something else in the magazine, but it was longer and I didn't want to write it. You know, I need to shorthand when I've got so many things to do. So you can see this dark red's kind of getting lost, but I think once these other colors surround it like they're supposed to, you'll be able to see it just fine. So that's where I got started on her. There's a few stitches on that side, but not all that. So, and that's on, this one's on 18 count Black Ada. This one is the one without tag, but it's 32 count. Let's see if I can remember. Zweigart, Silk Weavers, Belfast, and Dusk. Look, I remembered it. I think that's right. So you'll see the other half of this fabric in a later, well, not this video, but another project. So that's where in Dusk. I don't, maybe y'all know, I don't know if Zweigart, Silk Weavers, Belfast answers where it came from. I got it from a local needlework store, not local to me, but a needlework shop in Houston, so called ABC Stitch Therapy. So that was the evening of the 7th. The morning of the 8th, the evening of the 8th, I pulled out my Under the Sea stitch along. I was so excited that they added seahorses. Seahorses are one of my favorite underwater creatures. And it was kind of funny when this first, I may have said this before, I don't know. When this one first came out, and all I knew was this thing. My daughter has been obsessed with marine life like since she was little. She used to be able to name like 30 different kinds of sharks. Just absolutely loves it. So I figured I would get this all stitched up and I'd hang it in her room. She saw those little seahorses and she says, "Mom, can that please go in my room? I love that shark." Okay, I'm not sure what one had to do with the other, but that's how that conversation went. She said, "Those are really cute seahorses. Can I have it? I love the shark." So I just love the way this one's turning out. Like Side Needlecraft and Doreen Jones are doing amazing work, I'm telling you. Sorry, my phone's about to die. Okay, so another thing is I've seen some adjustments to this. Like I said, I've been stitching these as charted, but I saw one the other day where they changed, like, this one's Dory and they've got Nemo and his dad, and this is Bruce, and they changed these to little race horses. It was just adorable. And the fabric is Calypso 32 count Lugana. I bought it from Picture This Plus. Yeah. I like the color. I may have to get that color again for something else. I mean, it works really well as Under the Sea, but it's just pretty. That was the evening of the 8th. The morning of the 9th, I started my Lizzie Kate to go with the Lizzie Kate style. And it's good things come to those who stitch. And this is how far I got on it. I got the border done, the inner border done, and some of the words. So I really like this fabric. It's making it pop, and it doesn't have, I can't tell you the color, anything. Just, I picked it up from ABC Stitch Therapy, and it's beautiful, and period. I'm pretty sure, I want to say it's 28 count. Like when I compare it to my 32 count, pretty sure that's 38 or 28, but I'm just stitching it. It's cool. Obviously I made it big enough. So morning of the 9th. Yeah. The evening of the 9th, I finished those seahorses. So that one again. The morning of the 10th, I lied. I had started the seahorses the day I had to work till noon. So then I finished them the night that I said. So then the next evening, wherever I'm at, I'm so lost now. Next evening, I started the Fantasy Stitch Along by Lakeside Needlecraft and Doreen Jones. I have not showed this one to you before, so I'm going to kind of show the whole thing. Upside down apparently. I am up to date on it, except for this month's block, which I will finish next time I go to work. So it is all up to date, and then I am working on, oh no, I can't see. Hold on, fold you up a little bit. I'm working on the dragon with the flowers. The light is kind of killing me there. I love the colors. It's very spring and happy, and I think it's coming out well. Then the morning of the 10th, and that's on 18 count, just plain Ada. I started the Stitcherovia Charity Sal Quotes to Live By. Just the top little corner of the border. And of course it's not showing oh, there it is. Oh, there it goes. It's a rich, warm yellow. It's but soft. It just makes me think happy thoughts. And it's soft. I mean, it's soft feeling too, and working on this is making me very happy. I'm glad, because with it being the quotes to live by, they're going to be quotes that make you feel good. They're going to be on fabric that makes me feel good. This thing is going to be like front and center in my living room, just to make my day better. Okay, that's all my whips, and then I'm up to date until next time. One of the things I did want to mention is I noticed this week, as I'm changing projects between, you know, at midnight, I'm changing from one project to another. I've noticed I do not stitch the same way every time. Now, if you're talking about the shapes of the X's, I do. But, like this one, for example, I started here. I measured down enough, started in a corner. Now I'm working my way across and down and whatever. A lot of things I tend to like to just, I know that when I do my measurements on my fabric in my little Xstitch app thing, I tell it to give me 2 inches of border. So I know that if I measure 2 inches down from the border, it's still gonna fit on the fabric. So that's what I do. And of course on this one I had to measure 2 inches down and then count 50 down to start, but I didn't think that one through. But with me starting with the frame, I couldn't exactly start in the middle. So anyways, I do tend to start in the corner a lot. But on this one I didn't. This one I started in the middle. And then I worked down, and then I went this way, and I don't really have like a system that I do every single time. This one I started in the middle. This one I started at the top. I feel like I'm so random. So I feel like I had more to say about that, but I think that's interesting. I don't know if stitchers usually end up with I do this every time. I know that one of the videos I was watching this week, she said, I'm a center starter. So that's where she starts every time. Most commonly, I don't. Oh, I remember the other part about that. For instance, when I was stitching these guys, okay, I would put my hand in my bag, pull out a color, whatever color it was, I'd work it from the entire thing in that one color, and then I would put the color up. I knew I wouldn't have to pull that one out again, and I do this until all the colors are used. So I know that, for example, on this one, of course, some of these I'm not done with, but like this color green that goes all the way up, I'm completely done with it. The yellow I'm completely done with. I know I'm 2 colors down out of however many are in this. And what I do is I put my bobbins on a ring, and then when I'm finished with the color, I take it off the ring and throw it in the bag, because I'm gonna need them again the next month. I'm not gonna put them up, but there's that. Or, you know, like this one, I stitched as much as I could with the outside gray, but on the inside gray I only went to where the outside gray stopped, and then I would do a little bit of this and then this. I don't have a set way I do things every single time. I don't know, I guess it's whatever tickles my fancy and keeps me stitching, and that's what's important. But I just found it very interesting. And I even was watching a parking video where they would stitch 2 stitches with the color, and then when the color ended they just put it down and then stitch them. I don't do the switching. Like, I mean, I do on my Heaven and Earth designs, but I still finish the color for the entire block before changing colors. So I think it's immensely interesting. There's so many ways to do the exact same thing. I mean, if you take out the people who change things and this, that, and the other, you take a chart and give it to 5 stitchers, and each person is going to stitch the same picture, but the process in getting to that picture is they're gonna do it 5 different ways, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I find it intriguing and interesting. So even in myself, I do it several different ways, not just one way. So I don't know. I'm off on a little soapbox, but I found it really interesting as I was going through so many projects, because up until now I would work on my stitch alongs till they were done, or, you know, something I may work on it for 2 or 3 days, or just one. But as I've been working 2 separate projects in one day for the last 2 weeks, sort of, my Heaven and Earth, anyways, you know, I've said that already. So I've noticed it more, I should say. So I wanted to soapbox about it. But anyways, that is it for me. I'm looking forward to a very hectic next 2 weeks, but more starts and more whip work. I'm just really excited about some of these pieces. Trying to keep me away from stitching. That's what's going to be the fun part the next few weeks. So I'm enjoying everybody's floss tubes. I am trying to find as many floss tubes to watch as I possibly can. I thank you all for watching mine and commenting and subscribing. So I hope you all have a great stitchy week, and I will see you next time.